Well done, guys. It's all rubbish.
When the fuel bills go up in the winter, people will be dying of cold.
I'm giving you a reasonable ground. There is no need to block this.
So this is our...
Do not clear yourself. I'm giving you a chance to come to this side. You're obstructing highway. I can arrest you for this. You just dropped that. She's under arrest for obstructing highway. You want to grab the
Midday arrest being made, serial 105.
Well, you're going to walk.
You're hurting her. Can you be careful? You have a duty of care to this lady.
Madam, I've given you an opportunity to walk.
So we just need at the moment,
And to you.
Police brutality. Take pictures. Publish these pictures.
The United Nations has said there should be no new oil. The International Energy Agency says there should be no new oil. Press ahead with 130 new oil projects. It's disgusting. It is immoral. And that is why we're here. And we're not moving.
Here in peaceful protest against the government's continual funding of new oil and gas projects, the International Energy Agency has said we can't have any new investments in fossil fuels if we're to have a chance of keeping safe living conditions on this planet. We've already seen extreme heat this summer. We saw 40-degree heat in the UK. We're seeing mass displacement, floods across Pakistan, food system failure in Africa, and it's all getting so much worse. And also we're in a cost of living crisis, and these oil and gas plants and overturning the ban on fracking, that's not going to help fix the cost of living crisis for anyone. That's just making more profits for oil billionaires at the expense of ordinary people. So what we need is a transition to a safe and fair and clean energy system. Expand renewable energy, fair energy, affordable energy for all. And this government has absolutely no interest in that. They only care about making money for their friends. So that is why we're here, because we really feel we have no choice anymore. We have to take a stand, even if that means being arrested.
I love all of you, and I want you to have a future that is meaningful and worthwhile. Join us, please, we need you.
During COVID, you remember Sir Patrick Vallance, I'm sure you do. His predecessor was called Sir David King, the man who came before him, the chief scientific advisor to the British government. He is with Just Stop Oil. He is Sir David King, a Cambridge professor, and he says we've got 2 years to turn things round. And if we don't, it's too late. We can't change this later on. We can't wheel it back. When we get to a certain point, it tips. And when it tips, we go.
But the 33 million people in Pakistan who have been displaced will not forget about what we have done for them, which is ignore them. The media have ignored them. These police have ignored them. The government have ignored them. But we care about those 33 million people and the millions more that will be displaced because of the climate emergency. We care about them, and we want you to care about them too, because it's coming here as well. People are already being displaced in this country. We had a heat wave in the summer. There were fires. People lost their homes. We have a food crisis in this country. We're struggling to grow enough food to eat.
but this government needs to just stop oil, and we're going to continue to protest until this government starts listening. The United Nations are telling us no new oil.
Okay, my name's Gil. I'm here with Just Stop Oil, because the government is carrying on issuing oil licenses for more oil wells. We've got enough oil in the ground with existing oil wells to carry on until we phase it out and get electric vehicles and renewable energy. But and every new oil well we drill is a commitment, really. They will then need to get their money back by keeping it until it's, say 20 or 30 years, until it's exhausted. And we're just committing ourselves financially to more and more oil in the future. Every government in the world, almost, including ours, has said, agreed to the Paris Agreement that they would try to restrict climate change to 1.5 degrees, but they're not doing anything about it.
We are heading for genocide. We need to stop new oil and gas. We need to change course. Don't be a bystander.
Criminal.
Just stop oil. Just stop oil.
No, stay in the road, stay in the road, stay in the road.
Just stop oil.
Fossil fuels are killing us. Our planet is warming and we are getting to a stage where we are not going to be able to have enough food for our populations to eat. This is going to happen in my lifetime. Here in the road, I can see climate scientists gluing themselves to the road because they know what is happening. Before we got to this point, we sent some petitions, we sent some strongly worded emails, and we wrote to our MPs, and they did nothing. So we have asked them to issue any fossil fuel licenses. They have 130 licenses that they want to issue at the minute, which is definitely going to kill us. We are going to sit in the road every single day in October until our message is heard. We are meeting at 11 AM every day outside Downing Street. When we work together, we can drive social change, and the government has already been ruled by the courts to say that its plan to get to net zero by 2050 is completely illegal and completely unworkable, which means to say that they don't have a plan to deal with climate change, and they want to issue 130 new fossil fuel licenses. The science has been available for over 50 years, and still it is 2022, and we find ourselves on the brink of extinction. Everything and everybody we love is going to be destroyed unless we take immediate action in the next 2 to 3 years. That's according to Sir David King, who is the Chief Scientific Advisor to the Blair, Brown, May and another administration. Essentially, if we don't drastically reduce our carbon emissions, the Earth is going to heat up, we will not be able to grow food, we will not be able to eat food, and then we will die. This is a completely changeable situation.
Yeah, well done, mate.
In England, for them to arrest all of us. So when we work together, we get arrested together, we get to negotiate immediately with the government.
The old people are suffering because of not being able to meet their energy bills, all in the name of fossil fuels. That's why I'm doing it. We'll start protesting as soon as the government stops new investments in fossil fuel companies.
Just do it 311.
And civil resistance against the government and their policy of continuing to fund new oil and gas projects. We're in a climate crisis, we're in an economic crisis. People can't afford to live, they can't afford to heat their homes or to
This
eat.
is our one.
Meanwhile, billionaires are making more and more
Sure, could I ask
profits
this
from
one?
government's oil and
Can you
gas
do a quick
policy.
pat down for me?
Enough is enough and it has to end. And I'm civil resistance.
Stand up now, we're here. We're running this one.
Climate change. You know, we've had 33 million flooded out in Pakistan, and you know, they've lost their homes, their crops, that's their food, their jobs, their infrastructure. You know, their bridges will be down for years, and now you know they'll be dying as we speak of cholera, typhoid.
Thank you very much.
And you know, nobody cares. It's not news because they're not white. This is primarily
a crisis for black people in the global south. And so our government doesn't care because they're not white.